What's up, everyone? Welcome to Smack Talk. Name here talking about our DraftKings value plays for week 4. But before we get into it, exciting news. We brought back the t-shirts. So what you got to do is you sign up for DraftKings, use the promo code FST, follow the card or the link in the description below, deposit at least $5 in the month of October. You got to do this in the month of October. If you do that, we're going to send you a fancy Smack Talk t-shirts. DraftKings are going to give you entry into a free contest. Fun all around. All right, so let's get into the picks for week 4. First guy I'm talking about is Freeman. Now, he's over my $5,000 threshold, but he's $5,200, so they didn't raise him too much after the monster week he had. We called it here, so hopefully you had him in your lineup a little bit, so just throwing that out there. Do I think he repeats? Absolutely not, and I actually think he's going to be in a ton of lineups just based on that monster day. So another guy that, especially if you can still do your beginners. So again, the first 50 contests you enter, you're eligible to be in beginner leagues. Highly recommend doing that for all first of your 50 leagues. And I say put Carlos Williams in a ton of these leagues. Running back for the Bills, looks like McCoy's going to be out. He's only 3,400 facing a Giants team, which he has scored a touchdown every single week anyway, and now it looks like he's going to get a crazy volume, and we know how Rex Ryan loves to run the ball. 3,400, this might be the best value I have seen all year. This is the one I liked as much as I liked Ivory week 1. They're about equal for me. All right, next running back I'm going to talk about is Melvin Gordon. I think this week's the breakout party. He's playing a Browns team that's 30th against running backs in terms of allowing fantasy production, and that's going to be my theme this week, so just note that. And what DraftKings does is they actually tell you how good they are against that position. So you'll see Melvin Gordon, you'll see if he's playing the Browns, you'll see a 30th. And it's going to be in green, which means that's good, which means that defense is bad against running backs. So that's why you would maybe want to put Melvin Gordon in. So hopefully this helps you learn the tools as well. But that's $4,900. I think he has his breakout party. They are just so bad against the run. All right, let's move into wide receivers. I'm going to talk about Matthews first. Matthews is playing the Jets. He's 4,400. And I just really like this kid. And this is not Jordan Matthews. This is the young man that's on the Miami Dolphins, Richard. So what I really do like about him is the fact that Landry is drawing more and more coverage each week, and he is more and more open. He is clearly the number 2 receiver out there. So in these PPR formats, which is what DraftKings is, 4,400, I think that's a great deal. All right, next guy I'm talking about is Percy Harvin. So the thing that I like about Percy Harvin is he's playing the Jets, and the Jets are 22nd against receivers in terms of giving up fantasy production. Percy Harvin's only 4,600. And now what I like him for is that boomer bust. I really like to put him, not necessarily my multipliers or my 50-50s. He's a lottery ticket for me, right? I'm putting him in, that $3 entry to win $100,000. And that's because Percy Harvin's the type of player that could have 2 80-yard touchdowns, one catching and one actually rushing the ball, and that makes all the difference in the world. So I really like him as a boomer bust lottery ticket play this week. All right, moving on to tight ends. Apparently I'm going to talk about the Bills a lot because I'm talking about Charles Clay. He's facing that same Giants team that are 30th against tight ends this year. And he had a great game last week, and now based on what he did last week isn't the only reason. Like I said, the Giants give up a lot of points to tight ends. He is only 3,300, and the rest of the tight ends out there have been significantly adjusted. So he is the last kind of bargain play that I could really find in there. All right, as we go to quarterbacks, like I said, I do put these guys over 5,000 since, you can't get a quarterback, even a backup. The only thing under 5,000 on DraftKings is the backup. So the mid-range to low guy that I like this week is Andy Dalton, 5,900 against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 30th against quarterbacks in terms of giving up fantasy production. So Andy Dalton, you gotta love the matchup. And what he did last week was great, but he's been fairly solid all year. So I think he's gonna be undervalued yet again this week. So certainly a guy to look at to keep in your lineup. And now let's move on to defenses. Not gonna lie, there wasn't one that I really loved that's cheap, and these defenses normally range, I think the highest is 3,700, and that's Seattle, to about I think it's 25 is the cheapest. So there's not a huge range, first of all, but the guys in the lower end that I kind of like this week are the Washington Redskins. They're playing the Eagles. It's a division game, and it's being played here in DC where there's crazy storm warnings and all of this, and they might move it to a dome, so buyer beware with them. They might move it to a dome. They both have the same week, so maybe they'll just replay the game then. I highly doubt that'll happen. I think they actually just played here in a pouring down rain monsoon. And, sometimes people think, well, the defenders actually slip and slide, so it's not as good. The rain here should be so bad that I don't even think there's going to be any passing the ball. It's just going to be a run, gutsy kind of game. I don't see a lot of scoring if that happens. So while I don't love them, the Redskins are my pick for defense this week. So again, this is what I implore you to do. Don't go for all of the win $1 million. Do some of the multipliers. I absolutely love the multipliers. I like the head-to-heads to a degree. I like the 50-50s a lot too, and then 1 or 2 lottery tickets. But just pick a couple of these guys. Like last week, I hope you picked Freeman in a couple leagues, and then he was so cheap you had some studs in all the other positions, and that would help you win some money. So do that again. Put Carlos Williams in as one of those guys, and then maybe do a Williams and Gordon pair, and then you really pump up the wide receiver. So hopefully you win some money this week. Hopefully you won some cash last week, and hopefully you've been winning all year. Name code for Fantasy Smack Talk out. Good luck this week.